The kick landed hard, a deliberate vicious thrust into a 10-year-old's stomach that sent her stumbling backward, juice box exploding across her lavender hoodie. Amani Barrett didn't scream, she didn't cry. She just stood there, hand pressed against her belly, staring at the man who'd just assaulted her like she was trash in his way. Gerald Whitford didn't even look up from his phone. Should have watched where you were going, kid. Before we dive into what happened next, and trust me, you need to see how this ends, hit that subscribe button right now. This story is going to take you places you didn't expect, and I want you here for every single second. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to know how far this truth travels. Now let's get back to that airplane aisle where everything was about to explode. Lorraine's scream cut through the cabin like a siren. What did you just do? She shoved past two passengers, purse swinging wild. Amani was frozen, one hand clutching her stomach, the other gripping her boarding pass so tight the paper was crumpling. Not crying, just shocked. The kind of shock that comes when the world stops making sense. Lorraine dropped to her knees. Baby, are you okay? Did he hurt you? I'm fine. Amani's voice cracked on the second word. Lorraine's head snapped up. Gerald Whitford sat in 3B first class, left aisle legs stretched out like he owned the space. He scrolled through his phone like nothing happened. You kicked her. Gerald sighed, long, bored. She walked into my leg, maybe teach her some spatial awareness. Spatial awareness, you stuck your leg out and kicked her in the stomach. Heads turned. Phones came out. A woman in 4C had hers up. Already a camera light blinking red. Gerald looked up. His eyes were flat, cold. Are you going to keep making a scene or can we get this flight moving? Lorraine stood so fast her knee popped. You're not going anywhere until you apologize to her. For what? For kicking her. I didn't kick anyone. His voice was smooth now, practiced. She bumped into my foot. If anything, she should apologize to me. These are $1,000 shoes. A sound came out of Lorraine's throat that wasn't quite a laugh and wasn't quite a scream. You want a 10-year-old to apologize for your assault. Assault. Gerald smiled. All teeth, no warmth. That's a strong word for a kid who can't watch where she's going. Sir. A flight attendant appeared, blonde hair pulled back, tight name tag that said Ashley. Her smile was frozen in place. Is everything all right here? No. Lorraine pointed at Gerald. He kicked this child, deliberately, in the stomach, and he won't apologize. Ashley's smile flickered. I'm sure it was just an accident. It wasn't an accident? Amani's voice was so quiet, everyone had to lean in. He saw me coming. He put his leg out. He kicked me. Ashley looked at Amani, then Gerald, then back at Amani. Sir, did you... I stretched my legs. Gerald didn't look at her. Kid wasn't paying attention, not my problem. It is your problem when you assault someone on an airplane. Ma'am, I need you to lower your voice. Lower my voice. He kicked a child, and you want me to lower my voice. A man in 2A leaned forward. Could we please just take off? Some of us have connections to make. Lorraine spun on him. A child was just assaulted right in front of you, and you're worried about your connection. The man's face went red. I didn't see anything. Because you weren't looking. None of you were looking. Ma'am? Ashley's hand was on Lorraine's arm now. Light but firm. Please, let's step into the galley. I am calm. What I am is angry. There's a difference. Amani tugged on Lorraine's sleeve. Lorraine, everyone's looking. Let them look. Lorraine crouched down again. Baby, are you hurt? Does it hurt bad? Amani shook her head, but her hand was still pressed against her stomach. I just want to sit down. You're going to sit down right now, and he, Lorraine pointed at Gerald, is going to apologize or get off this plane. Gerald laughed, actually laughed. I'm not going anywhere, sweetheart. And neither are you if you keep this up. They'll throw you off for disturbing the flight. Ashley's radio crackled. Ashley, what's the status up there? We're holding departure. Ashley pressed the button. We have a situation. Give me 2 minutes. We don't have 2 minutes. Ashley released the button, looked at Lorraine, looked at Gerald, looked at Amani standing there with juice staining her hoodie. Sir, did you make contact with this child? She walked into my foot. That's not what I asked. Gerald's jaw tightened. Fine. My foot might have been in the aisle. She should have been more careful. Your foot was in the aisle, and when she walked past, you didn't move it. Why should I first-class passengers are allowed to stretch out? That's what we pay for. You don't pay for the right to kick children. Lorraine's voice was ice now. You pay for a seat, not a throne. The woman in 4C was still recording. A man across the aisle, black, early 40s, had his phone out too. He met Lorraine's eyes and nodded once. Gerald noticed. His smile got harder. You people really love making everything about race, don't you? The cabin went silent. Lorraine straightened up slowly. What did you just say? You heard me? Gerald leaned back. Kid bumps into my foot, and suddenly I'm the villain, Buzz, because she's... He paused. A certain demographic. Her name is Amani, and the only thing I'm making this about is the fact that you kicked a child and won't even apologize. Because I didn't do anything. She's playing the victim and you're eating it up. Typical. Ashley's hand went to her radio. She looked at Amani. Really looked. Saw the juice stain. Saw her hand still pressed against her stomach. Saw the way she was standing, weight on one foot, body curved like she was protecting something. Sir, I'm going to need you to come with me. Gerald blinked. Excuse me? I need you to step off the aircraft while we sort this out. I'm not going anywhere. I paid for this seat. I have a meeting in Chicago, and I'm not letting some hysterical woman and her... He waved his hand at Amani like he couldn't finish the sentence. Her what? Lorraine stepped forward. Say it. You've been thinking it this whole time. Say it. Ma'am? Ashley moved between them, but Lorraine was already in Gerald's space. You think because she's black she doesn't belong in first class. You think because we're black we're lying, making it up, playing the victim. That's what you think, isn't it? I think I'm tired of people like you making everything about skin color when it's really about behavior. The man in 2A cleared his throat. Could someone please get the captain? It was already out of hand when he kicked her. Where were you then? A new voice cut through the chaos. Deep, calm. What seems to be the problem here? Captain Torres stepped into first class. Tall gray at the temples, eyes that had seen everything. Ashley turned relief flooding her face. Captain Torres, we have a passenger who... I heard? Torres looked at Gerald, then Lorraine, then Amani. His eyes stayed on her longest. Young lady, are you all right? Amani nodded, then shook her head, then nodded again. I don't know. Torres crouched down. Did someone hurt you? He kicked me. Did he kick you on purpose? Amani looked at Gerald, then back at Torres. I think so. He saw me coming. Torres stood, looked at Gerald. Sir, I'm Captain Torres. This is my aircraft. I need you to come with me. Gerald didn't move. I'm not going anywhere based on the word of a child. You're coming with me, or I'm calling security and they'll remove you by force. Your choice. This is ridiculous. I have rights. You can't just... I can. I'm the captain. This is my plane. And if I say you're not flying, you're not flying. Gerald's face went red. Do you know who I am? Right now, you're the man who kicked a child. That's all I need to know. The woman in 4C made a noise, half laugh, half gasp. Gerald stood so fast his shoulder hit the overhead bin. He grabbed his bag from under the seat, black leather monogrammed GW, and shoved past Ashley into the aisle. He stopped next to Amani, looked down at her, tilted his head like he was studying something interesting. Barrett, he said quietly, almost to himself. Imani Barrett? Lorraine went rigid. How do you know her name? Gerald's smile changed, got wider. Marcus Barrett's kid. I should have known. You look just like him. He crouched down to Amani's eye level. Does Daddy know you're flying without him? Does he know his little princess is out here causing problems? Torres stepped forward. Sir, step back, now. But Gerald wasn't done. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone, tapped it a few times, showed the screen to Amani. That's your daddy, right, Marcus Barrett, CEO of Tech Vantage, worth what, $300,400,000. Amani stared at the screen. It was a photo of her father from a Forbes article. Thought so. Gerald stood up, pocketed his phone, looked at Lorraine. Tell Marcus I said hello. Tell him Gerald Whitford sends his regards. He leaned in close. And tell him this is just the beginning. Torres grabbed Gerald's arm. You need to leave, now. Gerald shrugged him off. I'm going. But this isn't over. He looked back at Amani one more time. See you around, kid. He walked toward the exit. The cabin was so quiet you could hear his $1,000 shoes on the carpet. Lorraine's hands were shaking. How does he know Marcus? How does he know her name? Torres pulled out his radio. Security, this is Torres. I need you to meet us at the gate immediately, and I need you to run a background check on passenger Gerald Whitford. Everything. Criminal history, business connections, social media, everything. Copy that, Captain. Torres looked at Lorraine. Do you know who that man is? No, but he knows Marcus. He knows Amani, and he just threatened her. Did Marcus ever mention anyone named Gerald Whitford? Not to me, but Marcus has... She stopped, looked at Amani. Marcus has a lot of business dealings, a lot of people who aren't happy with him. Torres nodded slowly. I'm going to get medical up here. I want her examined, and then I need you to call Marcus right now. A paramedic appeared, young woman ponytail carrying a medical bag. Hi there, I'm Sarah. Someone needs checking out. Torres gestured to Amani. She was kicked in the stomach by another passenger. I want a full examination. Sarah knelt down. Hey, sweetheart, can you lift your shirt a little so I can see your tummy? Amani looked at Lorraine. Lorraine nodded. Amani lifted her hoodie. The bruise was already forming. Dark purple spreading across her left side. Sarah's face went tight. Oh, honey. She pressed gently around the edges. Does this hurt? This okay, deep breath. Amani winced. Sarah looked up at Torres. That's a significant contusion. Whoever did this hit her hard. This wasn't accidental. Torres's jaw clenched. Can you document that photos report everything? Already on it. Sarah pulled out her phone, took several photos from different angles. Keep ice on this 20 minutes on 20 off. If the pain gets worse or you feel dizzy or nauseous, hospital immediately. Understand? Amani nodded. Sarah packed up. She's going to be sore for days. Watch her closely. She looked at Lorraine. And if anything changes, anything at all, don't wait. Lorraine pulled out her phone. Her hands were still shaking. She scrolled to Marcus Barrett and hit dial. 1 ring. 2. Lorraine, everything okay? Marcus Barrett's voice was warm, relaxed. Lorraine's voice cracked. Marcus, something happened. The warmth disappeared. What? What happened? Is Amani okay? She's okay. She's right here. But a passenger kicked her. On purpose. She's got a bruise. He what? Someone kicked my daughter. Yes, and Marcus. Lorraine took a breath. He knew her. He knew you. He said his name was Gerald Whitford. He showed her your photo. He said to tell you this is just the beginning. Silence. Long, heavy. Marcus. Gerald Whitford. Marcus's voice was different now. Flat. Cold. He was on that plane. You know him. Yeah, I know him. Marcus laughed, but there was no humor in it. Let me talk to Amani. Lorraine handed the phone over. Your dad. Amani took it. Hi, Daddy. Baby girl. Marcus's voice changed. Softer? Are you okay? Did he hurt you bad? He kicked me, but I have an ice pack. A paramedic checked me. I think I'm okay. You think you're okay. My stomach hurts, but it's not that bad. Listen to me very carefully, sweetheart. I need you to stay with Lorraine. Don't talk to any strangers. Don't go anywhere alone. And when you land, I'm going to be right there at the gate, okay? Okay, Daddy, why did he know my name? Marcus was quiet for a long moment. We'll talk about that when you get here. Put the captain on. Amani handed the phone to Torres. My dad wants to talk to you. Torres took it. This is Captain Torres. Captain Marcus Barrett. What the hell happened to my daughter? Sir, a passenger assaulted your daughter. He's been removed and security is detaining him. But there's more. He knew her name, knew who you were, made what sounded like a threat. It was a threat. Gerald Whitford used to be my business partner. 5 years ago. I fired him for fraud. He sued me. He lost. He threatened me then too. Said he'd make me pay. I haven't heard from him since. Torres's expression darkened. So this wasn't random. No, this was targeted. He went after my daughter to get to me. I'm documenting everything. We have witnesses, video. He's not walking away from this. Captain, I need you to understand something. Gerald Whitford is not a good man. He's vindictive, dangerous. If he's willing to kick a 10-year-old child just to send me a message... Marcus stopped. Please, keep my daughter safe until she lands. I give you my word. Thank you. Put Lorraine back on. Torres handed the phone to Lorraine. Marcus, how bad is the bruise really? Lorraine looked at it again. Dark purple, spreading. Bad. I'm going to end him. Marcus's voice was ice. I'm going to take everything he has left. His freedom, his reputation, everything. I know. Nobody touches my daughter, nobody. I know, Marcus. Thank you for protecting her. She's brave. She didn't even cry. She gets that from her mother. His voice broke, then cleared. I'll see you both in Chicago, and Lorraine, watch your back. If Gerald's willing to do this, he might try something else. The line went dead. Torres looked at his watch. We're 30 minutes behind schedule. Ground control wants to know if we're pushing back. Are we? Lorraine asked. Torres looked at Amani. Are you ready? Amani pressed the ice pack against her stomach. Can I still fly? This is your seat. You paid for it. Nobody's taking that away from you. Amani smiled, just a little. Then I'm ready. Torres picked up his radio. This is Torres. We're preparing to push back, but I want security footage preserved and sent to my email. I want Gerald Whitford's passport flagged, and I want him banned from every airline in this network. Copy that, Captain. One more thing, we ran that background check. Gerald Whitford has 2 prior arrests, one for assault, one for harassment, both dismissed on technicalities. Torres closed his eyes. Of course they were. He looked around the cabin. Passengers were watching. Some looked angry. Some looked uncomfortable. The man in 2A was staring at his phone like he wished he could disappear. I know you're all anxious to get where you're going, Torres said, but right now there's a little girl on this plane who was hurt, and until I knew she was safe, we weren't moving. Thank you for your patience. The woman with the pearls in 3D raised her hand. Captain, I saw what happened. The man stuck his leg out. It wasn't an accident. Torres pulled out a notepad. Name and contact information, please. We'll need statements. Of course, the man across the aisle spoke up. I recorded it. The whole thing. We'll need that too. More hands went up. More voices. The woman in 4C, a teenager in 5A. Even the man in 2A quietly, I saw something too. Lorraine looked around. You all saw it this whole time. The woman with the pearls looked down. I'm sorry, I should have said something sooner. Yes, Lorraine said. You should have. Torres turned to Lorraine. I'd like to offer you and Amani upgraded seats for your return flight, and I'll personally make sure this incident is investigated fully. Thank you. And ma'am, for what it's worth. He looked at Amani. You're one of the strongest kids I've ever met. Amani looked up at him. I didn't do anything. You stood up after someone tried to knock you down. That's everything. They walked to their seats, 3A and 3B. Amani climbed into the window seat, ice pack still pressed against her stomach. Lorraine sat next to her. The plane finally pushed back. As they taxied toward the runway, Amani looked out the window. Sky bright blue. Cloudless. Lorraine? Yes, baby. Why did he kick me? Lorraine was quiet for a long time. Because he's angry at your father, and he wanted to hurt him by hurting you. That's not fair? No, it's not. What did Daddy do to him? Your father is a good man who stopped a bad man from doing bad things, and sometimes bad men don't forget. Amani thought about that. Is he going to come after me again? Lorraine's hand tightened on her shoulder. Not if I can help it. The plane turned onto the runway. Engines roared. Amani pressed her forehead against the window. I still want to fly. Then we'll fly. The plane lifted off. Dallas disappeared below them. Sky stretched out forever. Amani closed her eyes. The ice pack was cold against her stomach. The bruise throbbed with every heartbeat. But she was flying. Lorraine pulled out her phone. Scrolled through news alerts. Stopped on one. Tech Vantage CEO Marcus Barrett faces SEC investigation. She read the first line. Federal investigators are examining financial irregularities at Tech Vantage following allegations from a former business partner. She swiped it away before Amani could see, but her hands were shaking again. 30,000 feet below them, Gerald Whitford sat in an airport security office, handcuffed to a table, smiling. His lawyer was already on the way, and in his pocket, his phone buzzed with a message from a blocked number. Phase 1 complete. Proceed to Phase 2, Gerald typed back with his free hand. Consider it done. He looked up at the security camera in the corner, winked, then leaned back in his chair and waited. Above him, the plane carrying Amani Barrett climbed higher into the sky, and the storm was just beginning. The plane leveled off at cruising altitude. Amani's eyes were closed, but she wasn't sleeping. Lorraine could tell by the way her fingers kept twitching against the armrest. Does it still hurt? Amani nodded without opening her eyes. Lorraine reached for the call button. Ashley appeared 30 seconds later, smile back in place, but her eyes were different now, softer. How can I help? Do you have any children's pain medication, Tylenol, anything? Let me check. Ashley disappeared toward the galley. Amani opened her eyes. Lorraine, who was that man, the one who kicked me? Lorraine had been dreading this question. Someone your father used to know. Someone bad? Yes, baby, someone bad. Why did Daddy know someone bad? Because sometimes good people have to work with bad people before they realize they're bad. Amani thought about that. Is Daddy in trouble? Lorraine's throat tightened. What makes you ask that? Because the man said this is just the beginning. That means there's more coming. Right? 10 years old and already too smart for her own good, just like Marcus. Your father can handle it. He's handled worse. What's worse than someone kicking your kid? Lorraine didn't have an answer for that. Ashley returned with a small paper cup and 2 pills. Ibuprofen. It's all we have. She can take both. Amani swallowed them dry, handed the cup back. Thank you, Lorraine said. Ashley hesitated. Ma'am, I'm sorry. For earlier, I should have acted faster. I should have... You did what you could. Lorraine's voice was tired. You're trained to de-escalate. I get it. But that man wasn't interested in being de-escalated. Still, I'm sorry. Ashley looked at Amani. And I'm sorry to you too, sweetheart. No one should have to go through what you did. Amani just nodded. Ashley left. The cabin settled into that strange airplane quiet where everyone's awake but pretending to sleep. Lorraine pulled out her phone. No service at 30,000 feet, but she'd downloaded the news article before takeoff. She read it again, slower this time. TechVantage CEO Marcus Barrett faces SEC investigation. Federal investigators are examining financial irregularities at TechVantage following allegations from a former business partner. Sources close to the investigation suggest the allegations involve securities fraud, insider trading, and potential money laundering. Barrett has denied all charges, calling them a vendetta from a disgruntled ex-employee. The investigation is ongoing. The article was 3 days old. Marcus hadn't mentioned it. Not once. Lorraine scrolled down. Saw the photo of the former business partner who'd made the allegations. Gerald Whitford. Her stomach dropped. She looked at Amani, still had her eyes closed, still not sleeping. Lorraine texted Marcus even though she knew it wouldn't send until they landed. We need to talk, now. This isn't just about Amani. This is bigger. She stared at the screen, watched the message sit there, unsent, mocking her. A sound came from 3 rows back. Raised voices. Lorraine turned. A man was standing, white mid-50s, receding hairline. He was pointing at the woman in 4C, the one who'd been recording. You need to delete that video right now. The woman clutched her phone. I don't need to do anything. You recorded me without my permission. That's illegal. Actually, it's not. This is a public space. I can record whatever I want. You're invading my privacy. I'm documenting an assault on a child. There's a difference. The man's face went red. That's not what happened, and you know it. That kid walked into the man's foot. This whole thing is blown out of proportion. Lorraine unbuckled her seatbelt. Lorraine, don't. Amani's voice was small. Please. I'm just going to talk to him. Please, I don't want more fighting. Lorraine looked at her. Really looked. Saw the exhaustion in her eyes. The way her hand was still pressed against her stomach even though the ice pack had fallen to the floor. She sat back down, buckled in. Okay? Okay, baby. No more fighting. But her hands were fists in her lap. The man sat down, still muttering. The woman in 4C caught Lorraine's eye and mouthed, I'm sorry. Lorraine mouthed back, Thank you. 20 minutes passed. 30. Amani finally fell asleep for real this time, head against the window, mouth slightly open. Lorraine's phone buzzed. She looked down. A text had come through somehow. Must have hit a cell tower during ascent. Unknown number. Tell Marcus he should have settled when he had the chance. Now it's too late. Lorraine stared at the screen. Her hands started shaking again. She texted back, Who is this? 3 dots appeared. Then someone who knows what he did. And someone who's going to make sure everyone else knows too. The dots appeared again. Starting with his daughter. Lorraine's breath caught. She looked at Amani sleeping against the window and her protective instinct kicked into overdrive. She texted, You stay away from her. You come near her again and you'll what? You're just the help. You don't matter. Tell Marcus the clock is ticking. He has 48 hours to withdraw his testimony or everyone finds out what he really did to build TechVantage. Lorraine's mind raced. Testimony. What testimony? She texted, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. The Henderson case. Marcus thinks he can play hero and expose the whole operation, but if he testifies, he goes down too. And I'll make sure his daughter knows exactly what kind of man her father really is. Henderson case. Lorraine had heard Marcus mention it once months ago. Late-night phone call. He'd been in his office door, closed voice low and angry. She'd only caught pieces. Something about whistleblowing. Something about federal prosecutors. She texted, "This is harassment. I'm going to the police." "Go ahead. I haven't done anything illegal." Unlike Marcus. The dots stopped. No more messages. Lorraine locked her phone, pressed it against her forehead, tried to breathe. Ashley walked past, saw Lorraine's face. "Ma'am, are you okay?" "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." Lorraine looked up at her. "How long until we land?" Ashley checked her watch. "About 90 minutes. Are you feeling sick? Do you need—" "I need to get off this plane." Lorraine's voice cracked. "I need to get her somewhere safe." Ashley crouched down in the aisle, lowered her voice. "Did something else happen?" Lorraine showed her the texts. Ashley's face went pale. "Oh my God, have you told the captain?" "Not yet, Lorraine looked at Amani again. "I don't know what's happening. I don't know who these people are, or what they want, or—" Okay, listen to me." Ashley put her hand on Lorraine's arm. "I'm going to get Captain Torres. We're going to figure this out. But right now, I need you to stay calm. Can you do that?" Lorraine nodded, even though she couldn't. Ashley stood and walked quickly toward the cockpit. 30 seconds later, Torres emerged. He looked at Lorraine, then at Amani sleeping against the window, then back at Lorraine. He sat in the empty seat across the aisle. "Show me." Lorraine handed him her phone. Torres read through the messages. His jaw got tighter with each line. "Have you responded to any of these?" "I tried. They stopped replying." Torres handed the phone back. "I'm going to contact ground control. We need police waiting at the gate when we land, and I want security escorting you and Amani directly to her father. No stopping, no baggage claim, nothing." "What if they're waiting for us at the airport?" "Who's they?" "I don't know. Gerald Whitford? Whoever sent these texts. Marcus said Gerald was dangerous. What if he has people?" "Then we'll deal with it." Torres's voice was firm, calm. "But right now, my job is to get you both on the ground safely, and that's what I'm going to do." He stood and went back to the cockpit. Lorraine sat there, phone in her lap, watching Amani sleep. Her mind was spinning. Henderson case. Testimony. What had Marcus gotten himself into? She thought back over the past 6 months. The late-night calls, the meetings Marcus wouldn't talk about, the way he'd started having Amani driven to school instead of letting her take the bus, the way he'd insisted Lorraine fly with her to Chicago instead of letting her go alone. He'd known something was coming, and he hadn't told her. Imani stirred, opened her eye. "Are we there yet?" "Not yet, baby. Go back to sleep." "I can't. My stomach hurts again." Lorraine pressed the call button. Ashley appeared. "Can we get more ice?" "Of course." Ashley disappeared and came back with a fresh ice pack, handed it to Imani. "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" "Tired, and it hurts." "I know. We'll be landing soon. Your dad's going to take good care of you." Imani pressed the ice pack against her stomach. "Lorraine, what's going to happen when we land?" "Your dad's going to be there, and we're going to go straight to him. No stopping." "Why no stopping?" "Because," Lorraine searched for the right words, "because your dad wants to see you as fast as possible." "Is he mad at me?" "What? No, but baby, no. Why would he be mad at you?" "Because I let that man kick me. Because I caused problems on the plane. Because—" "Stop." Lorraine grabbed Imani's hand. "None of this is your fault. You hear me? None of it. That man kicked you because he's a bad person, not because you did anything wrong." Imani's eyes filled up. First time all flight. "Then why does it feel like my fault?" "Because that's what bad people do. They make good people feel guilty for things they didn't do." A tear rolled down Imani's cheek. She wiped it away fast. "I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to cry." "Who told you that?" "Daddy, he said Barretts don't cry. We fight back." Lorraine felt something break in her chest. "Your daddy's wrong about that. Crying isn't weakness. It's being human." "But Daddy never cries." "I bet he does, just not where you can see." Imani thought about that. "Do you think he's crying now?" "Probably, because someone hurt his baby girl, and that's the worst thing that could happen to him." More tears came. Imani didn't wipe these ones away. Just let them fall. Lorraine pulled her close. Imani buried her face in Lorraine's shoulder and finally let herself cry. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, exhausted sobs that shook her whole body. The man in 2A looked back at them. For a second, Lorraine thought he was going to complain, but then his expression softened. He looked away. Amani cried for 5 minutes straight. When she finally pulled back, her face was blotchy and her eyes were red, but she looked lighter somehow, like she'd let go of something heavy. "Better?" Lorraine asked. Amani nodded. "A little." The intercom crackled. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Torres. We're beginning our descent into Chicago O'Hare. Flight attendants, prepare the cabin for landing." Lorraine's stomach twisted. 90 minutes had somehow become 20. She looked out the window. Chicago was visible below, sprawling and gray under afternoon clouds. Amani looked too. "That's where Daddy is. That's where Daddy is." "Do you think he's scared?" "I think he's probably terrified, but not for himself, for you." The plane descended. Lorraine's ears popped. She looked at her phone. Still no service. The wheels touched down, smooth, perfect. The cabin erupted in scattered applause, something Lorraine had never understood. Were they applauding the pilot for not crashing? Seemed like a low bar. The plane taxied toward the gate, slower than usual. Or maybe it just felt slower because Lorraine's heart was hammering and her hands were sweating and every second felt like an hour. The intercom crackled again. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. We have a special situation and will need to deplane in a specific order. Thank you for your cooperation." Murmurs rippled through the cabin. The man in 2A unbuckled anyway, stood up. Torres's voice came back harder this time. "Sir, I need you to sit down, now." The man sat. The plane pulled up to the gate. The seatbelt sign stayed on. Ashley appeared, leaned down to Lorraine. "Captain Torres wants you and Amani to stay seated until everyone else deplanes. Then security will escort you directly to the gate. Your daughter's father will meet you there." "She's not my daughter." "Sorry, the girl's father." Lorraine nodded. The cabin door opened. Passengers started filing out, slow and grumbling. The man in 2A shot Lorraine a look as he passed. She couldn't read it. The woman in 4C stopped. "I sent the video to the authorities, and to a few news outlets. Just thought you should know." "Thank you." "That little girl's brave. You tell her that." The woman left. Finally, the cabin was empty except for Lorraine, Amani, Ashley, and Torres standing at the front. "Okay?" Torres walked back to them. "There are 2 officers waiting just outside. They're going to walk with you to the gate. Your father," he looked at Amani, "is already there. You ready?" Amani nodded. They stood. Amani grabbed her backpack. Lorraine grabbed her purse. They walked up the aisle together. At the door, 2 officers waited. Both men, both black, both with expressions that said they'd seen the video. "Ma'am, miss." The taller one nodded. "We're going to walk you straight to the gate. Stay between us. Don't stop for anyone. Understood?" "Understood," Lorraine said. They stepped into the jetway. It was empty. Their footsteps echoed. Lorraine's phone buzzed back to life. Text started flooding in. "Marcus, where are you? Marcus, are you off the plane? Marcus, I'm at the gate. Marcus?" "Lorraine, answer me." She texted back, "We're coming. 2 minutes." They reached the end of the jetway. The door opened. The gate area was packed. But Lorraine saw Marcus immediately. He was standing by the window, wearing a gray suit, no tie, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes scanned the crowd, frantic, until they landed on Amani. His whole face crumpled. "Daddy!" Amani broke away from the officers and ran. Marcus dropped to his knees, caught her, wrapped his arms around her like he was trying to hold every piece of her together. Lorraine walked over slowly, gave them a moment. Marcus pulled back, looked at Amani's face. "Let me see." Amani lifted her hoodie. The bruise had gotten worse. Darker. Bigger. Marcus's hand started shaking. He touched the edge of it so gentle and Amani winced. "I'm going to kill him." Marcus's voice was barely a whisper. "I'm going to actually kill him." "Marcus." He stood up still, holding Amani's hand, looked at Lorraine. "What happened?" "Tell me everything." "Not here." Lorraine glanced around. The gate area was full of people watching them. Some had phones out. Marcus noticed. His jaw tightened. "Fine. Car's waiting outside. Let's go." The 2 officers fell in step with them. They walked through the terminal, fast not running, but close. Lorraine's phone buzzed. "Unknown number. Welcome to Chicago. Phase 2 starts now." She stopped walking. Marcus noticed. "What? What is it?" Lorraine showed him the text. Marcus's face went pale, then red, then something worse, blank. The kind of blank that meant he was shutting down every emotion so he could think clearly. "Give me your phone." Lorraine handed it over. Marcus scrolled through the texts from the flight. His expression got darker with each one. Henderson case, he said quietly. They know about Henderson. What's Henderson? Not here. He handed the phone back, looked at the officers. I need you to take us out a back exit, now. Sir, we don't have authorization. I don't care. There are people who want to hurt my daughter, and if we walk out the front, they're going to try. So either you take us out the back, or I'm calling my lawyer and having your badges. The officers looked at each other. The taller one nodded. Follow me. They changed direction, walked toward an elevator marked Authorized Personnel Only. The officer swiped a card. The doors opened. They got in. Marcus kept Amani pressed against his side. Daddy, you're hurting me. Sorry, baby. He loosened his grip but didn't let go. The elevator descended, opened into a concrete hallway that smelled like jet fuel and cleaning solution. They walked fast. Amani struggled to keep up. Marcus picked her up, carried her like she weighed nothing. A door at the end of the hallway. The officer pushed it open. Outside, a black SUV waited. Engine running. The driver's door opened. A woman got out, late 30s. Black, wearing a dark suit and an earpiece. Mr. Barrett? Kendra, thank God. Marcus walked to the SUV, opened the back door, set Amani inside. Get us out of here. Lorraine climbed in next to Amani. Marcus got in front. Kendra put the SUV in gear and pulled away from the curb before the doors were even fully closed. Where to? She asked. The safe house. Lorraine's heart jumped. Safe house, Marcus, what's going on? Not now. Yes, now. You owe me an explanation. You owe her an explanation. She pointed at Amani. That man didn't just randomly kick her. He targeted her. Because of you. Because of something you did. So start talking. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Then, fine. You want the truth? Gerald Whitford and I were business partners 5 years ago. We were working on a government contract, defense technology, encrypted communications for military operations, worth $500 million. He paused. Lorraine waited. Gerald was skimming money, taking bribes from foreign buyers who wanted access to the tech before it was finalized. I found out, confronted him. He denied it. I went to the FBI. Oh my God. The FBI started an investigation, but Gerald was smart. He covered his tracks, moved the money offshore, set up shell companies. By the time they had enough evidence to arrest him, he'd disappeared. No one's seen him in 4 years. Until today? Until today. Marcus looked back at Amani. She was staring out the window, not saying anything, but Lorraine could tell she was listening. The FBI's been building a case. They finally have enough to bring charges, but they need my testimony. I'm the only one who can connect Gerald to the original theft. And he knows this. He knows, and he's trying to scare me into backing out. By hurting Amani, Marcus's voice broke. By hurting Amani. Kendra spoke up from the driver's seat. Mr. Barrett, we've got a tail. Black sedan, 3 cars back. Been following us since the airport. Marcus pulled out his phone, dialed. Yeah, it's me. We've got a tail. I need you to... He stopped, listened. His face went white. What, when? He hung up, looked at Lorraine. Gerald Whitford made bail 20 minutes ago. Lorraine felt the blood drain from her face. How? He has connections, money, lawyers. Marcus looked at Kendra. Lose the tail, now. Kendra accelerated. The SUV shot forward, weaving through traffic. Horns blared. Amani grabbed Lorraine's hand. Are we in danger? No, baby, we're okay. But Lorraine didn't believe it. And from the look on Amani's face, neither did she. The black sedan stayed with them. Closer now, 2 cars back. Kendra took a hard right. The SUV tilted. Amani yelped. Sorry, sweetheart, Kendra said. Buckle up tight. Another right, then a left. They were in a residential area now. Narrow streets, parked cars lining both sides. The sedan was still there. Marcus pulled out his phone again. I'm calling the police. And tell them what? Kendra asked. That a car is driving behind us, we need proof of a threat. As if on cue, the sedan accelerated, pulled up alongside them. The passenger window rolled down. A man leaned out. White, sunglasses, holding something. Gun! Kendra screamed. She slammed the brakes. The SUV screeched. The sedan shot past them. No gunshot. The man hadn't been holding a gun, just a phone. He'd been filming them. Shit! Marcus punched the dashboard. They're not trying to hurt us. They're trying to get footage. They want us to panic so they can... Kendra's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Mr. Barrett, you need to see this. She handed the phone back. Marcus looked at the screen. His face went gray. He showed it to Lorraine. It was a live stream. On social media, Thousands of people watching. The video showed their SUV, showed Kendra driving erratically, showed Marcus in the front seat looking panicked. The caption read, "Tech CEO Marcus Barrett flees scene after daughter assaults innocent passenger. Watch the guilty run." "No," Lorraine's voice was hollow. "No, that's not their lying. They're twisting it." "Doesn't matter." Marcus's voice was dead. "People will believe what they want to believe." The comments were already flooding in. Typical rich people thinking they can get away with anything. That poor man was just stretching and the kid ran into him. Barrett's trying to ruin an innocent man's life. The daughter's a brat and the dad's a criminal. Lorraine wanted to scream, wanted to throw the phone, wanted to do something, anything to make it stop, but she couldn't. Because they were winning. Gerald and whoever he was working with. They were winning. Kendra kept driving. The sedan fell back but didn't disappear. Amani's voice was small. "Daddy, why are people saying those things?" Marcus turned around, looked at his daughter. "Because sometimes baby people believe lies instead of truth, and there's nothing we can do about it except keep living our truth." "But they're calling me a brat." "I know." "They're saying I hurt him." "I know." "They're saying you're a criminal." Marcus's jaw tightened. "I know." Amani looked at Lorraine, then back at her father. "Are we going to be okay?" Marcus didn't answer right away, and in that silence, Lorraine saw something she'd never seen before. Marcus Barrett, billionaire tech genius. The man who'd built an empire from nothing looked scared. "I don't know," he finally said, "but I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we are." The SUV turned onto a tree-lined street, pulled into a driveway, stopped in front of a tall iron gate. Kendra pressed a button. The gate opened. They drove through. Behind them, the black sedan slowed, stopped at the curb, didn't follow. But Lorraine knew they didn't need to. They'd already gotten what they came for. The safe house wasn't what Lorraine expected. No armed guards, no bulletproof windows, just a regular brick townhouse on a quiet street that looked like every other house on the block. Marcus helped Amani out of the SUV. She was moving slower now, one hand still pressed against her stomach. "How bad does it hurt?" he asked. "It's okay. Imani, it hurts." Her voice was small. "A lot." Marcus's face hardened. He scooped her up again, carried her toward the front door. Kendra unlocked it with a key from her pocket. Inside the house was sparse. Furniture that looked rented. Walls that were too bare. The kind of place people stayed in temporarily when they were running from something. "Upstairs," Marcus said. "First door on the right. There's a bed. Lorraine, stay with her." Lorraine followed Marcus up the stairs. He laid Amani down on the bed so gentle it almost broke Lorraine's heart. "I'm going to get you some real medicine, something stronger than ibuprofen. Okay?" Amani nodded. Marcus looked at Lorraine. "Don't let her out of your sight." "Where are you going?" "Downstairs. I need to make some calls." "Marcus." "Not now, Lorraine. Please, just stay with her." He left before she could argue. Lorraine sat on the edge of the bed. Amani was staring at the ceiling, not moving. "You want to talk about it?" Lorraine asked. "About what?" "About what people are saying online. About the video." Amani was quiet for a long time. "They think I'm lying." "Some people do, but some people know the truth." "How do you know which ones are which?" Lorraine didn't have an answer for that. "I don't, but I know what's true. You know what's true. Your dad knows what's true. That's what matters." "Does it? Because it feels like the lies are louder?" God, this kid was too smart. "They usually are," Lorraine said quietly. "Lies are always louder than truth, but truth lasts longer. Lies burn out. Truth stays." "How long does it take?" "I don't know, baby. Sometimes a long time." Amani finally looked at her. "I'm scared." "I know." "Not of that man. Not of getting kicked again. I'm scared people will always think I'm a liar. That everywhere I go, people will look at me and think I made it all up." Lorraine felt something crack open in her chest. "Listen to me. You are not a liar. You are not a brat. You are not any of the things those people are saying. You're a brave, smart, kind girl who got hurt by a bad man, and anyone who can't see that isn't worth your time." "But what if everyone thinks that? What if I can't make any friends because everyone saw the video and thinks, then we'll find you new friends, better friends, friends who know how to see the truth?" Amani's eyes filled up again. "I hate crying." "Then cry. I won't tell anyone." So Amani cried, again, quieter this time, like she was running out of tears but couldn't quite stop. Lorraine held her hand and didn't say anything. Sometimes words just got in the way. Downstairs, Marcus's voice rose, sharp, angry. Lorraine couldn't make out the words, but the tone was clear. Amani heard it too. Daddy's mad. Your daddy has a right to be mad. Is he mad at me? No, baby. He could never be mad at you. Then why does he sound like that? Because someone hurt you, and that's the worst thing that could happen to him. Marcus's voice got louder, then stopped. Silence. Footsteps on the stairs. Marcus appeared in the doorway holding a bottle of prescription pills and a glass of water. These are from my doctor. They're safe for kids. They'll help with the pain. He handed 2 pills to Amani. Swallow these. Amani took them, drank the water, handed the glass back. Marcus sat on the other side of the bed, looked at Lorraine. The FBI wants to talk to you about the text you received on the plane. Now, they're sending someone over. Now, Marcus, she needs to rest. I know, but the sooner we give them everything, the sooner they can build a case. And the sooner they can put Gerald back in custody where he belongs. He made bail. How does that even happen? Money, connections, a judge who doesn't understand how dangerous he really is. Marcus's jaw tightened. But that's going to change. I'm making sure of it. A knock on the front door. Kendra's voice from downstairs. Mr. Barrett, they're here. Marcus stood. I'll be right back. Lorraine, start thinking about everything that happened. Every detail. They're going to want to know everything. He left. Amani looked at Lorraine. Are you in trouble? No, baby. They just want to know what happened so they can help us. But you didn't do anything. I know, but I saw what happened, and sometimes seeing is enough. Footsteps on the stairs again, multiple sets this time. Marcus appeared with 2 people behind him, a man and a woman, both in dark suits, both with badges clipped to their belts. The woman stepped forward. Ms. Jenkins, I'm Agent Reeves. This is Agent Park. We're with the FBI. We'd like to ask you a few questions about the incident on the plane and the text messages you received. Lorraine stood. Can we do this somewhere else? She needs to rest. Agent Reeves looked at Amani. Her expression softened, just slightly. Of course, kitchen. They went downstairs, sat at a small table that wobbled when Lorraine put her elbows on it. Agent Park pulled out a recorder. Do you consent to having this conversation recorded? Yes. Can you state your full name for the record? Lorraine Marie Jenkins. And your relationship to Amani Barrett? I'm her nanny, have been for 3 years. Agent Reeves leaned forward. Can you walk us through what happened on the plane start from when you boarded? Lorraine told them everything. The kick, Gerald's refusal to apologize, the captain's intervention, the texts, all of it. Agent Park took notes. Agent Reeves just listened, her face unreadable. When Lorraine finished, Agent Reeves said, and you're certain the text came from an unknown number from... Yes. Did the number show up as blocked or just unknown? Unknown, like it had been spoofed or something. Agent Park looked up from his notes. Can we see your phone? Lorraine handed it over. Agent Park scrolled through the messages, took screenshots, then handed it back. We'll need to trace these, see where they originated. But based on the content and the timing, we believe these messages came from someone working with Gerald Whitford, possibly Whitford himself. Can you prove that? Lorraine asked. We're working on it, but Ms. Jenkins, I need you to understand something. Gerald Whitford is not acting alone. He has resources. He has people willing to do things for him. And based on these messages, he's not done. Lorraine's stomach twisted. What do you mean, Hut? Agent Reeves spoke up. The message said Phase 2. That implies there's a plan, a sequence of events. The assault on Amani was Phase 1 designed to intimidate Marcus to scare him into backing out of his testimony, but it didn't work, so now they're moving to Phase 2. Which is what? We don't know yet, but based on the pattern, it's going to escalate. Marcus was standing in the doorway. Lorraine hadn't heard him come in. Escalate how? Agent Reeves looked at him. Mr. Barrett, you need to understand that Gerald Whitford has everything to lose. If you testify, he's going to prison for a minimum of 20 years. He's desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. So what are you saying, that my daughter's still in danger? I'm saying we need to take precautions. We're going to assign protective detail to you and your family, plainclothes officers. They'll maintain distance, but they'll be there. That's not enough. It's what we can offer right now. We don't have enough evidence to arrest Whitford again. He hasn't technically violated any laws since making bail. He threatened my daughter. We can't prove that. The text came from an untraceable number, and the incident on the plane, yes, it was assault, but his lawyer is already spinning it as an accident. Self-defense. He's claiming Amani walked into his foot and he was just reacting instinctively. That's bullshit and you know it. I do, but a jury might not. Especially if they've seen the video his team is circulating, the one that makes it look like you're fleeing the scene of a crime. Marcus slammed his hand on the table. The recorder jumped. So what am I supposed to do? Just sit here and wait for him to come after her again? No, you testify. You put him away for good. That's the only way this ends. And if he gets to her before then... Agent Reeves didn't answer. Marcus's phone buzzed. He looked at it. His face went white. What? Lorraine asked. Marcus showed her the screen. It was a news alert. Breaking video surfaces of tech CEO's daughter allegedly attacking passenger on flight. Witnesses dispute official account. Lorraine felt sick. They edited the video. Of course they did. Marcus scrolled down. The video was already going viral. Hundreds of thousands of views. Comments flooding in. The dad's trying to cover this up. Rich people always play the victim. That man didn't do anything wrong. This is insane. Lorraine's voice was shaking. People were there. They saw what happened. How can they believe this? Because they want to, Agent Park said quietly. Because it fits the narrative they already believe. Rich black man thinks he's above the law. Poor white guy gets falsely accused. It's easier to believe that than to accept the truth. Marcus looked at Agent Reeves. Can you do anything about this? Can you get the video taken down? We can try, but it's already been shared thousands of times. Taking down the original won't stop it from spreading. So we just let people destroy my daughter's reputation. We focus on the case, we gather evidence, we build an airtight prosecution, and when Gerald Whitford goes to trial, the truth will come out. And in the meantime, Agent Reeves stood, in the meantime, you keep your daughter safe, you keep her out of the public eye, and you let us do our job. She and Agent Park headed for the door. Marcus followed them. Lorraine stayed at the table staring at the phone watching the view count climb. 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Told you, this is just the beginning, she showed Marcus. He read it, handed the phone to Agent Reeves. Bag this, I want it traced. Mr. Barrett, we already have screenshots. I don't care. I want every message, every call, every data point analyzed. Someone is targeting my family and I want to know who. Agent Reeves took the phone. We'll do everything we can. They left. Marcus stood in the doorway staring at nothing. Lorraine walked over. Marcus? They're going to win. His voice was hollow. Gerald, and whoever he's working with, they're going to win because they're willing to do things we're not. They're willing to lie, manipulate, destroy a child's reputation. So we fight back. How? By stooping to their level? No, by telling the truth, louder, harder, until people have no choice but to listen. Marcus looked at her. You really believe that I have to, because if I don't, then what's the point? A sound from upstairs. A whimper. They both ran. Amani was sitting up in bed, holding her stomach, face twisted in pain. Baby, what's wrong? Marcus was at her side in seconds. It hurts. It hurts really bad. Where? Show me. Amani pointed to her left side, the same place the bruise had formed. Marcus lifted her hoodie. The bruise had spread. Darker now, almost black, and the skin around it was swollen. We need to take her to the hospital. Lorraine's voice was urgent. Now. No, Marcus shook his head. If we take her to the hospital, the press will find out. It'll be another story, another angle for Gerald to exploit. Marcus, I don't care about the press. She's in pain, real pain. We need to get her checked out. The paramedic on the plane said she'd be fine. The paramedic on the plane did a basic check. This could be internal bleeding. This could be serious. Amani whimpered again. Daddy, please, it really hurts. Marcus closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were wet. Okay, we'll go. Kendra. Kendra appeared in the doorway. Get the car, we're going to the hospital. Sir, if we go to the hospital. I know, but I'm not letting my daughter suffer because I'm worried about optics. Move. Kendra ran downstairs. Marcus picked Amani up. She cried out. I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. We're going to get you help. I promise. They rushed to the SUV. Kendra was already behind the wheel, engine running. Marcus climbed in back with Amani in his arms. Lorraine got in next to him. Closest hospital, Marcus said. Now. Kendra pulled out of the driveway fast. The black sedan wasn't there anymore. but Lorraine had a feeling they'd show up soon enough. Amani was crying now, not loud, just quiet pain sobs that made Lorraine want to scream. "Hang on, baby," Marcus whispered. "Just hang on." The hospital was 15 minutes away. It felt like 15 hours. They pulled up to the emergency entrance. Marcus carried Amani inside. Lorraine right behind him. "I need a doctor," Marcus shouted. "My daughter's been injured. She needs help now." A nurse looked up from her station, saw Amani's face, saw Marcus's expression. "This way." They followed her to a triage room. A doctor appeared, young East Asian with kind eyes and fast hands. "What happened?" "She was kicked. On a plane. In the stomach. About 4 hours ago. The bruise is getting worse, and she's in a lot of pain." The doctor lifted Amani's hoodie. His expression tightened. "Okay, we need to run some tests. CT scan blood work. I want to make sure there's no internal bleeding." "Whatever you need to do, just help her." "Sir, I need you to step outside while we examine her." "I'm not leaving her." "Sir, I'm not leaving her." The doctor looked at Amani. "Is it okay if your dad stays?" Amani nodded. "Then he can stay, but you," he looked at Lorraine, "need to wait outside." Lorraine wanted to argue, but she could see Marcus needed this. Needed to be there for his daughter in a way he couldn't be when she was on that plane without him. "I'll be right outside," she told Amani. "You're going to be okay." She left, sat in the waiting room, stared at the wall. Her phone was gone still with Agent Reeves, so she couldn't check social media. Couldn't see how much worse things had gotten. Maybe that was a blessing. 20 minutes passed, 30, 40. Finally Marcus appeared. His face was unreadable. "She's okay." He sat down next to Lorraine. "No internal bleeding, no organ damage, just severe bruising. They're giving her stronger pain medication and monitoring her for a few hours, but she's going to be okay." Lorraine exhaled. She hadn't realized she'd been holding her breath. "Thank God." "Yeah." Marcus put his head in his hands. "Thank God." They sat in silence for a while. Then Marcus said quietly, "I'm pulling him out." Lorraine looked at him. "What?" "The testimony, the trial, I'm pulling it out." "Marcus, no. I can't do this to her. I can't put her through this. Gerald wins. I don't care anymore. He wins." "You don't mean that." "Yes, I do, because if I testify and something happens to her, if he comes after her again and I'm not there to stop it, I'll never forgive myself. And if you don't testify, if you let him walk, what kind of message does that send to Amani? That bad people win, that you should give up when things get hard. Better that message than her getting hurt again. She's already hurt Marcus, and pulling out won't change that. It'll just mean she got hurt for nothing." Marcus looked at her, really looked. "What am I supposed to do, Lorraine? How do I keep her safe and still do the right thing?" "You do both. You testify. You put Gerald in prison where he belongs, and you show Amani that standing up for what's right is worth the cost, even if the cost is her. The cost isn't her. The cost is being scared, being uncomfortable, being hated by people who don't matter, but she's strong enough to handle that. You raised her to be strong enough." Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then, "When did you get so wise?" "I've always been wise, you just never listened." He almost smiled. "Fair." A nurse appeared. "Mr. Barrett, your daughter's asking for you." Marcus stood, looked at Lorraine. "You coming?" "Yeah, I'm coming." They walked back to the examination room. Amani was lying on the bed, hooked up to an IV, eyes half closed. "Hey, baby girl," Marcus sat next to her. "How are you feeling?" "Tired, but it doesn't hurt as much." "Good, that's good." Amani looked at him. "Daddy, are you going to let that man win?" Marcus froze. "What?" "I heard you, outside. You said you were going to pull out. That means you're letting him win." "Baby, it's not that simple." "Yes, it is. He hurt me so you'd be scared. And if you pull out, that means he was right. That means hurting me worked." Marcus's eyes filled up. "I just want to keep you safe." "I know, but Daddy, I'm already not safe. That man found me on a plane. He found me in first class. He's going to find me wherever I am, so you might as well do the right thing." "When did you grow up?" "I don't know, maybe today." Amani reached for his hand. "I'm scared. But I'm not too scared. Not if you're with me." Marcus pulled her close. "Careful of the IV, careful of the bruise." Okay, I'll testify, but we're doing this smart. We're doing this safe. Deal. Deal." He kissed her forehead. "I love you so much, baby girl." I love you too, Daddy. Lorraine stood in the doorway watching them and felt something shift in her chest. Maybe the lies were louder. Maybe the fight was harder than any of them expected, but the truth was still there. Still standing. Still worth fighting for. Her borrowed phone, a hospital loaner, buzzed. She looked at the screen. A news alert. Breaking: FBI announces imminent arrest in TechVantage fraud case. Sources say additional charges pending. She showed it to Marcus. He read it, then smiled. Actually smiled. They're moving faster than I thought. What does that mean? It means Gerald's running out of time, and he knows it. As if on cue, the door burst open. Kendra rushed in, face pale. Mr. Barrett, we have a problem. There's press outside. A lot of press. Someone tipped them off that you're here. Marcus stood. How many? Uncle? At least 20. Cameras, reporters, the works, and they're not alone. What do you mean? Protesters. People who saw the video. They're saying you're trying to silence Gerald, that you're using your money to make this go away. It's getting ugly out there. Marcus looked at Amani, then at Lorraine, then back at Kendra. We're not running. Not this time. Sir? Get hospital security. Clear a path to the front entrance. We're walking out the front door, and I'm making a statement. Marcus, is that smart? Lorraine asked. Probably not. But I'm done hiding. I'm done letting Gerald control the narrative. He looked at Amani. You stay here. Lorraine stays with you. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Daddy? I'll be okay, I promise. He kissed her forehead one more time, then walked out of the room like he was walking into battle. Because he was. Lorraine sat next to Amani. Your dad's brave. I know. You're brave too. I don't feel brave. Brave people never do. That's what makes them brave. They waited. 5 minutes. 8. 10. The TV in the corner was unmuted but showing a live news feed. Lorraine saw Marcus step out of the hospital. Saw the crowd surge forward. Cameras flashing. People shouting. She turned up the volume. Marcus stood at a microphone someone had set up. He looked tired, scared, but determined. My name is Marcus Barrett, and I'm here to tell you the truth. The crowd quieted. 4 hours ago, my 10-year-old daughter was assaulted on an airplane by a man named Gerald Whitford. He kicked her, deliberately, hard enough to leave a bruise that sent her to the emergency room. This was not an accident. This was not her fault. This was a targeted attack designed to intimidate me into silence. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some of you have seen a video that's been edited to make my daughter look like the aggressor. That video is a lie. The truth is that Gerald Whitford is a criminal, a man who stole from his company, who took bribes from foreign actors, who has spent the last 4 years running from justice, and now he's trying to use my daughter, a child, to make me back down. Someone shouted, "Why should we believe you?" Marcus looked directly at the camera. Because I'm the one standing here, in public, with my name and my face attached to my words. Gerald Whitford is hiding behind edited videos and anonymous text messages. Ask yourself which one of us is telling the truth. Silence. I'm going to testify against Gerald Whitford. I'm going to make sure he faces justice for what he's done. And I'm going to make sure the world knows what kind of man he really is. Not because I want revenge, but because my daughter deserves to live in a world where telling the truth matters. He stepped back from the microphone. Questions exploded. Reporters surged forward, but Marcus was already walking back inside, surrounded by security. Amani was watching the TV, eyes wide. That was amazing, she whispered. Lorraine nodded. Yeah, it really was. Marcus came back into the room, sat down, let out a long breath. How'd I do? You did good, Daddy. Yeah? Yeah. He looked at Lorraine. Now what? Now we wait, and we hope the truth is loud enough. Marcus's phone buzzed. He looked at it, then handed it to Lorraine. A text from Agent Reeves. Gerald Whitford arrested 10 minutes ago. Multiple charges. He's not making bail this time. Lorraine felt something release in her chest. Relief. Pure, overwhelming relief. It's over, she said. No. Marcus looked at Amani. It's not over. Not until he's convicted. Not until people stop believing the lies. But it's a start. Amani reached for his hand. Daddy, can we go home now? Soon, baby, soon. But even as he said it, Lorraine saw the doubt in his eyes, because they all knew the truth. This wasn't over, not even close. The hospital discharged Amani 2 hours later with prescriptions and instructions to rest. Marcus carried her to the SUV even though she insisted she could walk. Kendra drove them back to the safe house through side streets, checking the mirrors every 30 seconds. Are they following us? Lorraine asked. Not that I can see, but that doesn't mean they're not there. The safe house felt different when they got back. Smaller, like the walls had moved closer while they were gone. Marcus laid Amani on the couch instead of taking her upstairs. Wanted to keep her close. "You hungry, baby girl?" Amani shook her head. "Just tired." "Then sleep. I'll be right here." She closed her eyes. Within minutes, her breathing evened out. Marcus sat on the floor next to the couch back against the wall watching her. Lorraine had never seen him look so tired. Not exhausted, destroyed. Like something fundamental had broken inside him, and he didn't know how to fix it. "You should rest too," she said quietly. "Can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see her falling. See that bastard's foot connecting. See her trying not to cry." "Marcus? I should have been there. I should have flown with her. I should have..." "Stop, you can't do that to yourself." "Why not? It's true." "No, it's not. You couldn't have known. None of us could have known." Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then, when Amani was born, her mother made me promise something. Made me swear on everything I had that I'd protect her. Keep her safe. Never let the world hurt her the way it hurt us. His voice broke. "I failed." "You didn't fail. You're here. You're fighting. That's what matters." "Is it because right now it feels like fighting just makes things worse?" Lorraine sat down next to him. "You want to know what I think? I think Amani's watching you. Learning from you. And what she's learning right now is that when bad things happen, you don't run. You don't hide. You stand up and you fight back. That's the lesson. That's what matters." Marcus looked at her. "When did you become the wise one?" "I've always been the wise one. You just finally started listening." He almost smiled. Almost. His phone buzzed. He looked at it and whatever expression he'd been building disappeared. "What?" "It's from my lawyer. Gerald's team is filing a countersuit, claiming I orchestrated the whole thing, that I paid someone to assault him on the plane, that the video of Amani getting kicked is fake CGI or deepfake or some shit. And they're suing for defamation, emotional distress, and damage to his reputation." Lorraine felt her blood go cold. "They can't be serious." "They're very serious. $20 million serious." "But that's insane. There were witnesses. There's video, medical records." "Doesn't matter. They're betting that a jury will see a rich black man and a white victim and make their decision based on that. And honestly, they might be right. So what do? We fight. What else can we do?" But his voice sounded hollow, like he didn't believe it anymore. Kendra appeared in the doorway. "Mr. Barrett, Agent Reeves is here. Says she needs to talk to you immediately." Marcus stood. "Here. Outside." She didn't want to come in. Said something about keeping things off the record. Marcus looked at Lorraine. "Stay with her." "Where else would I go?" He walked outside. Through the window, Lorraine could see him talking to Agent Reeves. She was animated hands moving fast, face urgent. Marcus's expression got darker with every word. 5 minutes. 10. Finally, Marcus came back inside. His face was gray. "What happened?" Lorraine asked. Gerald didn't work alone. The FBI found evidence of a larger network, other business partners he defrauded, other people he paid off, and one name keeps coming up. He paused. "Henderson. The case you're testifying in." "Yeah, except it's bigger than I thought. Henderson wasn't just some random defense contractor. He was running a pipeline selling classified tech to foreign governments, and I helped him do it." Lorraine felt the ground shift under her. "What?" "I didn't know. I swear to God, I didn't know. I thought we were just building communication systems, standard defense work, but Henderson was using my tech as a backdoor, copying encryption keys, selling access to the highest bidder, China, Russia, North Korea, anyone with money. And you found out. 2 years ago, completely by accident. I found code in one of our systems that shouldn't have been there. Started tracing it, realized what was happening, went to the FBI immediately. So you're a whistleblower. I'm a witness who helped commit treason without knowing it. And Gerald knows that if I testify, if I tell everything I know, he goes down. Henderson goes down, and everyone connected to them goes down, but I go down too. You didn't know, Marcus. That's not the same as Gimb. Tell that to the prosecutor. Tell that to the jury. Tell that to everyone watching who already thinks I'm a criminal. He sat down, put his head in his hands. Reeves said if I testify, they'll offer me immunity, but only if I give them everything. Names, dates, financial records, everything. So do it. And if I do, I'm painting a target on Amani's back, on your back, on everyone I care about. Because these people, Henderson's network, they're not like Gerald. They're not lone wolves acting out of revenge. They're organized, professional, dangerous. You're saying they'll come after her. I'm saying they already are. Gerald kicking Amani wasn't random anger. It was a message from Henderson. Stay quiet or we'll hurt what you love most. Lorraine looked at Amani sleeping on the couch, face peaceful for the first time all day. What are you going to do? I don't know. Marcus's voice was barely a whisper. I don't know. Silence settled over the room like fog, heavy, suffocating. Then Amani's voice, small and clear, Daddy, tell them everything. Marcus's head snapped up. Baby, I thought you were asleep. I was, but I woke up, and I heard. She sat up, wincing slightly. Tell them everything. Do the right thing. Amani, you don't understand. I understand that bad people hurt me because they want you to be scared. And if you stay scared, they win. And if they win, they'll just hurt someone else's kid, someone else's dad. So you have to stop them. Marcus moved to the couch, knelt beside her. Baby, if I testify, things are going to get worse before they get better. These people, they're not going to stop. They're going to come after us in ways we can't predict. Then we'll be ready. You're 10 years old. You shouldn't have to be ready for things like this. But I am, because you taught me to be. Amani took his hand. You always said the right thing is usually the hard thing. Remember? Marcus's eyes filled up. Yeah, I remember. So do the hard thing, Daddy. Please. He pulled her close, careful of her bruised stomach, and held her like she might disappear if he let go. Okay, I'll do it. But we do this smart. We take every precaution. We don't take any chances with your safety. Deal. Deal. Marcus stood, pulled out his phone, called Agent Reeves. It's me. Tell the prosecutor I'm in. Full immunity deal, but I have conditions. Security for my daughter, 24/7, and I want her identity protected. No photos, no addresses, nothing that puts her in the crosshairs. Can you make that happen? He listened, nodded. Good. When do you need me? More listening. His face got tight. Tomorrow? That's fast. A pause. Fine, I'll be there. But Reeves, if anything happens to my daughter, if one hair on her head gets touched, I'm done. Immunity or not, I'll burn the whole thing down. We clear. He hung up. Lorraine stood. Tomorrow. They want to move fast. Get my testimony on record before Gerald's team can interfere, before Henderson finds out what's happening. Does Henderson know you're testifying? Not yet, but he will. Soon as I walk into that federal building, word's going to spread. And then, Marcus stopped. Then we see what he does. Kendra appeared again. Mr. Barrett, we've got movement outside. 3 cars just parked down the street. Engines running. No one's getting out. Marcus's jaw tightened. How many people? Can't tell. Tinted windows. Call the police. Now. Kendra pulled out her phone. Marcus moved to the window, careful not to be seen. Can you see anything? Lorraine asked. No, but they're watching, waiting for something. What if they're not police? What if they're... Then we have a problem. Amani stood up from the couch. Daddy, I'm scared. I know, baby. Come here. She ran to him. He picked her up, held her tight. The cars sat there. Engines running, nobody moving. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then all 3 cars pulled away at once. Smooth, coordinated, gone. Kendra lowered her phone. Police are on their way, but the cars are gone. They were sending a message, Marcus said quietly. They wanted us to know they can find us, that we're not safe. Then we move, Lorraine said. We go somewhere else. Somewhere they can't track us. There is nowhere they can't track us. These people have resources, technology. If they want to find us, they will. So what do we do? Marcus set Amani down, looked at Lorraine. We go on offense. I testify tomorrow. I give them everything. And I make sure the whole world knows what Henderson and Gerald did. Because the only way to stop people like this is to expose them. Drag everything into the light where they can't hide. And if they retaliate, they will, but at least we'll be fighting back. Police arrived 20 minutes later, took statements, searched the perimeter, found nothing. The cars were gone. No trace except tire marks on the asphalt. After they left, Marcus made Amani eat something, half a sandwich, some water. The pain medication was making her drowsy again. Can I sleep in your room tonight? She asked. Of course, whatever you need. They went upstairs. Lorraine heard Marcus reading to her. Some book about a girl who could fly. His voice was soft, steady, normal. Like if he acted normal, everything would be normal. Lorraine sat downstairs with Kendra watching the windows, waiting for headlights that never came. "You think they'll come back?" Lorraine asked. "I think they're waiting, watching, planning their next move. And you think we can stop them?" Kendra was quiet for a moment. "I think Marcus Barrett is either the bravest man I've ever met or the most foolish. Maybe both." "What does that make us be? Loyal? Stupid? Probably both." Kendra almost smiled. "But at least we're on the right side." Lorraine's borrowed phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Your boss made a mistake. Tomorrow he'll regret it." She showed it to Kendra. "I'll tell Agent Reeves. But Lorraine, you need to understand something. These people, they're professionals. They don't make empty threats. If they say something's going to happen, it's going to happen." "So what do I do?" "Stay close to the girl. Don't let her out of your sight. And if something goes wrong, if anything feels off, you run. You don't fight. You don't try to be a hero. You grab her and you run. Understand?" Lorraine nodded, but her hands were shaking. That night, none of them slept. Marcus stayed in Amani's room, sitting in a chair by her bed, watching her breathe. Lorraine stayed downstairs with Kendra, taking turns keeping watch. At 3 in the morning, Lorraine's phone buzzed again. "Last chance. Tell Marcus to back out or the girl pays the price. This is your only warning." She showed it to Kendra, then to Marcus when he came downstairs at dawn. He read it, deleted it, handed the phone back. "They're bluffing." "How do you know?" "Because if they were serious, they wouldn't warn us. They'd just do it." "And if you're wrong?" "Then I'm wrong, but I'm not backing down. Not now. Not after everything." He went back upstairs, got dressed, came down in a dark suit, white shirt, no tie. Looked like he was going to a funeral. Amani appeared at the top of the stairs. "Daddy, I want to go with you." "No, you're staying here with Lorraine, where it's safe." "Nowhere's safe. You said so yourself." "Baby, I want to go. I want to see you tell the truth. Please." Marcus looked at Lorraine. She shook her head. "Bad idea. Terrible idea." But Marcus looked back at Amani and his face softened. "Okay, but you stay with Lorraine every second. You don't leave her side. And if anything happens, anything at all, you do exactly what she says." "Got it. Got it." Kendra drove them to the Federal Building downtown. Morning traffic, gray sky, streets full of people who had no idea what was about to happen. They parked in an underground garage, took an elevator straight to the 12th floor. Agent Reeves met them there. "Mr. Barrett, thank you for coming, and," she looked at Amani, "I wasn't expecting her. She wanted to be here. Sir, I don't think that's wise. I don't care what you think is wise. She's here. She stays. End of discussion." Agent Reeves looked like she wanted to argue, but Marcus's expression said the conversation was over. "Fine, but she stays in the waiting room. She doesn't come into the deposition." "Agreed." They walked down a long hallway. White walls, fluorescent lights, everything sterile and cold. At the end, a conference room. Through the glass, Lorraine could see lawyers, prosecutors, court reporters, all waiting. Marcus crouched down in front of Amani. "I have to go in there now, but I'll be right on the other side of that door. If you need me, if anything happens, you tell Lorraine and she'll get me, okay?" "Okay, Daddy. I love you, baby girl. I love you too." He kissed her forehead, stood, looked at Lorraine. "Anything happens." "I know, I've got her." Marcus walked into the conference room. The door closed behind him. Lorraine and Amani sat in the waiting area. Plastic chairs, magazines from 2 years ago, a water cooler that hummed too loud. "How long will it take?" Amani asked. "I don't know, maybe a few hours." "What if they don't believe him?" "They'll believe him. He's telling the truth. But what if the truth isn't enough?" Lorraine didn't have an answer for that. 20 minutes passed. 30, an hour. Lorraine's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Time's up. Say goodbye to the girl. Lorraine's blood went cold. She looked around. The hallway was empty except for them and one security guard at the end. "Amani, we need to move. Now." "What? Why?" "Just trust me. Come on." She grabbed Amani's hand, started walking toward the elevator. The security guard stepped forward. "Ma'am, you can't leave. Mr. Barrett requested you wait here." "We're not leaving. We need to use the restroom." "There's one right there." He pointed to a door 10 feet away. "We need—" Lorraine's mind raced. "She's going to be sick. The medication. We need to get somewhere private." The guard hesitated. "Fine, but make it quick." Lorraine pulled Amani toward the restroom. Inside, she locked the door, pulled out her phone, texted Kendra, Something's wrong. Get up here now. Texted Agent Reeves, threat received. Need immediate security. No response. Service was spotty inside the building. Lorraine, what's happening? I don't know yet, but we're going to stay here until I figure it out. Okay. Amani nodded, but her eyes were wide, scared. A knock on the door. Ma'am, you've been in there for 5 minutes. Is everything okay? Lorraine looked at the door. That wasn't the security guard's voice. It was someone else, someone she didn't recognize. We're fine. Just need another minute. Ma'am, I need you to open the door. I said we're fine. The handle rattled. Someone trying to get in. Lorraine looked around. No windows, no other exit. Just one door, and whoever was on the other side. Imani, get behind me. Lorraine? Now. Imani moved behind her. Lorraine positioned herself between the door and the girl. The rattling stopped. Silence. Then a voice, different now familiar. Ms. Jenkins, it's Agent Park. Agent Reeves sent me. You need to come out. There's been a security breach. How do I know you're really Agent Park? Because I'm not trying to break down the door. I'm asking politely. Now please open up. We need to evacuate this floor immediately. Lorraine's hand hovered over the lock. Every instinct screamed not to open it. But what choice did she have? She unlocked the door, opened it slowly. Agent Park stood there, with 2 uniformed officers. His badge was visible, his gun was holstered. He looked legitimate. What's happening? Lorraine asked. There's been a bomb threat. Building's being evacuated. We need to move now. What about Marcus? Mr. Barrett is being escorted out separately. Come on. He reached for Imani's arm. Lorraine blocked him. Don't touch her. Agent Park's expression hardened. Ma'am, I'm trying to keep her safe. Then you'll let me carry her. A beat, then he nodded. Fine, but we move fast. Lorraine picked up Imani even though she was too big to be carried. Started walking. They went toward the elevator, but Agent Park stopped. Stairs. Elevator's not safe during evacuation. They turned toward the stairwell. The door was already open. Dark inside. Something felt wrong. Lorraine couldn't place it, but every nerve in her body was screaming. After you, Agent Park said. Lorraine looked at him. Really looked. His badge was right. His uniform was right. But his eyes were wrong. Cold. Empty. No, she said. You first. Ma'am? I said you first. Agent Park's hand moved toward his gun. Not fast, but deliberate. And Lorraine knew. She turned and ran. Stop! She didn't stop. Ran back toward the conference room, Imani bouncing in her arms, heart hammering. Behind her footsteps, fast, getting closer. She reached the conference room door. Banged on it. Marcus, help! The door opened. Marcus appeared. Saw her face, saw the man behind her. Get down! Lorraine dropped. Covered Imani with her body. The shot was deafening in the enclosed hallway, but it didn't come from behind her. It came from the real security guard at the end of the hall, the one who'd been there all along. The fake Agent Park went down, gun clattering across the floor. Real security poured out of everywhere. Agents, officers, chaos. Marcus pulled Lorraine and Imani into the conference room, slammed the door. Are you hurt? Is she hurt? We're okay. We're okay. But Imani was crying now. Real crying. The kind that came from terror, not pain. Marcus held her. It's okay, baby. You're safe. I've got you. Agent Reeves burst in. How the hell did he get past security? How did he get a badge? How did he... I don't care how, Marcus roared. I care that someone just tried to take my daughter. I care that you promised she'd be safe and she almost got shot. Mr. Barrett. No, we're done. Testimony's done. I'm taking her and we're leaving and we're disappearing and you're never going to find us. You can't do that. You're under subpoena. Watch me. Marcus picked up Imani, looked at Lorraine. We're leaving. Now. They walked out of the conference room, down the hallway, past the body, past the agents, into the stairwell, down 12 flights, out into the parking garage. Kendra was waiting, engine running. They got in, drove away. Nobody said anything for a long time. Finally, Imani's small voice, Daddy, are we going to be okay? Marcus looked at her in the rearview mirror. His eyes were wet. I don't know, baby. I honestly don't know. And for the first time since this whole thing started, Lorraine believed him, because the truth was, none of them knew if they'd be okay. They just knew they were alive. For now. That had to be enough. Kendra drove for 40 minutes without speaking. No destination. Just away. Marcus sat in the back with Amani pressed against his chest, one hand on her head, the other gripping his phone so tight his knuckles were white. Lorraine watched the streets blur past. Every car looked suspicious. Every person on the sidewalk looked like a threat. "Where are we going?" she finally asked. "Anywhere but here," Marcus said. "Kendra, lose anyone who might be following us. Take side streets, double back. I don't care if it takes all day." "Already on it." Amani hadn't said anything since they left the federal building. She just sat there, pressed against her father, eyes open, but not seeing. Lorraine recognized that look. Shock. The kind that came after your brain ran out of ways to process fear. "Baby, talk to me," Marcus said quietly. "Tell me what you're feeling." "Nothing." "Imani?" "I almost died." Her voice was flat, empty. "That man was going to take me." "And then what? What was he going to do?" Marcus's arms tightened around her. "Nothing, because it didn't happen. You're here. You're safe." "But I'm not safe. You keep saying I'm safe, but people keep trying to hurt me. So which is it, Daddy? Am I safe or am I not?" Marcus opened his mouth, closed it, had no answer. Lorraine turned in her seat. "Amani, look at me." Amani didn't move. "I said look at me." Slowly, Amani lifted her head. "You're right. You're not safe. None of us are. But you know what? You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still fighting. And that's what matters." "Fighting? I'm not fighting. I'm just running away." "No, running away is giving up. What you're doing is surviving. And surviving is the hardest fight there is." Amani looked at her father. "Is Lorraine right?" Marcus nodded. "Yeah, she's right." "Then why does it feel like losing?" "Because you're tired, and scared, and hurt. But you're still here, baby girl. That means you're winning." Kendra's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. "It's Agent Reeves. She's been calling non-stop." "Don't answer it," Marcus said. "Sir, she might have information." "I don't care. I'm done with the FBI. They promised protection and we almost got killed. I'm not trusting them with my daughter's life again." Kendra put the phone away. They drove in silence for another 20 minutes. Finally pulled into a parking garage downtown. Different area, different building, anonymous. "What are we doing here?" Lorraine asked. "Meeting someone?" Marcus pulled out his phone. Sent a text. "Someone who can help us disappear properly." "Who?" "Someone I should have called from the beginning." 10 minutes later, a woman appeared. Late 40s, black, wearing jeans and a leather jacket. Short, natural hair. Eyes that missed nothing. She walked straight to the SUV, knocked on Marcus's window. He rolled it down. "Simone?" "Marcus." Her voice was rough. Smoker's voice. "You look like hell." "Feel like it too." Simone's eyes moved to Amani, softened just slightly. "This her?" "Yeah." "She okay?" "No, but she's alive." Simone nodded. "That'll have to do. You got a plan?" "Not really, hoping you do." "I got a few, but first we need to move. This garage isn't secure. Follow me." She walked back to a black motorcycle parked 3 spaces away, put on a helmet, started the engine. Kendra followed her out of the garage, through downtown, north toward the suburbs, eventually to a storage facility on the edge of the city. Simone used a key card to open the gate, led them to a unit in the back corner. Inside the unit was a van. White, unmarked, commercial plates. "We're switching vehicles," Simone said. "This one's clean, no GPS, no trackers, no way to follow it." "How do you know?" Lorraine asked. "Because I swept it myself this morning after Marcus called. Now let's move. We're burning time." They transferred to the van. Marcus carried Amani. She was getting heavier in his arms, but he wouldn't let go. Simone drove. Marcus sat in the passenger seat, Lorraine and Amani in the back. "Where are we going?" Marcus asked. "Safe house, real one this time, not some FBI setup that everyone knows about. My place, off the grid, no paper trail." "And you trust it." Simone looked at him. "Marcus, I've kept people alive in war zones. I think I can handle Chicago suburbia." "Who is she?" Amani whispered to Lorraine. "I don't know, but your dad trusts her, so we trust her." The drive took an hour, out of the city, through small towns, eventually to a farmhouse surrounded by empty fields, no neighbors, no streetlights, just space. Simone parked behind the house where the van couldn't be seen from the road. Inside the farmhouse was surprisingly modern. Security cameras, reinforced doors, windows with bulletproof glass. "You live here?" Marcus asked. "Sometimes, when I need to disappear, or when I'm helping other people disappear." Simone locked the door behind them, set an alarm. You're safe here. For now. But we need to talk about next steps. What next steps? We run. We hide. We wait for this to blow over. It's not going to blow over, Marcus. You know that. Henderson's not going to stop. Gerald's not going to stop. They've invested too much, lost too much. They're going to keep coming until either you're dead or they are. Amani made a sound, small, hurt. Marcus's face hardened. Can we not talk about this in front of her? She needs to hear it. She needs to understand what's happening, because pretending this is going to be okay isn't helping anyone. She's 10, and someone tried to kidnap her today. She's not a baby anymore, Marcus. This situation made sure of that. Lorraine stood up. Amani, why don't you and I go find something to eat? Let them talk. Amani looked at her father. He nodded. Go ahead, baby. I'll be right here. C'est bien. Lorraine led Amani to the kitchen, found some crackers and cheese in the fridge, made a plate even though neither of them was hungry. Lorraine, am I going to die? The question hit like a punch. No, absolutely not. But that woman said, that woman doesn't know everything. Your dad's going to figure this out, and we're going to be okay. You don't believe that. Yes, I do. No, you don't. I can tell. You get this look, like you're trying to convince yourself. Lorraine sat down across from her. You want the truth? Amani nodded. I don't know if we're going to be okay. I don't know how this ends, but I know your father loves you more than anything in this world, and he's going to do whatever it takes to keep you safe, even if that means doing things that scare him, even if that means running for the rest of your lives. He won't let anything happen to you. But what if he can't stop it? What if these people are stronger than him? Then we fight anyway, because that's all we can do. Amani was quiet for a moment, then, I don't want to run anymore. I'm tired of being scared. I know, baby. Me too. In the living room, voices rose, Marcus and Simone arguing about something. What are they fighting about? Amani asked. Probably the same thing we all are. What to do next? Marcus appeared in the doorway. Lorraine, can I talk to you alone? Lorraine looked at Amani. You okay here for a minute? Amani nodded, picked up a cracker, didn't eat it. Lorraine followed Marcus into a small office. Simone was there, arms crossed. Tell her, Tom, Simone said. Marcus took a breath. Simone thinks we should go on the offensive. Stop running and start fighting back. Fighting back how? By exposing everything, not just to the FBI, to the public, to the press, every name, every crime, every connection, make it so public that Henderson can't touch us without exposing himself. That's insane. If you do that, you're painting an even bigger target on your back. The target's already there, Simone said. Might as well make it mean something. And what about Amani? What happens to her when her father becomes public enemy? Number 1. She gets to live, Marcus said quietly. Right now, Henderson thinks he can make this problem go away quietly. Kill me, kill Amani, cover it up. But if I go public, if I do it right, then killing us becomes more dangerous than leaving us alive. Lorraine looked between them. You're gambling with her life. I'm trying to save it, and this is the only play we have left. No, the play we have left is to run, get new identities, move somewhere they can't find us, start over. You think they won't find us? These people have resources, technology, money. They'll find us. And when they do, Amani won't have me to protect her because I'll already be dead. So instead, you want to make yourself a martyr. I want to make myself untouchable. There's a difference, Simone spoke up. Lorraine, I get it. You want to protect that little girl. So do I. So does Marcus. But running only works if you have somewhere to run to. And right now, there's nowhere safe. Not really. The only way out is through. Lorraine looked at Marcus, saw the desperation in his eyes, the fear, the helplessness of a father who'd run out of ways to save his child. If we do this, she said slowly, we do it smart. We don't just dump information and hope for the best. We plan it. We control the narrative. We make sure it hits hard enough that they can't recover. Marcus nodded. Agreed. And if it doesn't work, if they come after her anyway, then we run. Like you said, new identities, new lives. But at least we tried. Lorraine closed her eyes. Tried to think. Every option felt like walking off a cliff and hoping for wings. Okay, she said finally, but I need to know all of it. Every name, every crime, what we're really dealing with. Marcus pulled out his phone, opened a file, started talking. Henderson wasn't just a defense contractor. He was running a network of illegal arms dealers, corrupt politicians, and foreign intelligence assets. The tech Marcus had helped develop the encryption systems had been modified to create backdoors, ways to spy on military communications, ways to steal classified data, ways to sell American secrets to the highest bidder. Marcus had discovered it by accident 2 years ago, went to the FBI, started cooperating, became their star witness. But Henderson had connections, deep ones, people in government, people in law enforcement, people who'd made sure the investigation moved slowly, made sure evidence disappeared, made sure witnesses changed their minds. Gerald Whitford was just one piece, a money man, a fixer, someone who cleaned up messes and made problems go away. And right now, the Marcus and Imani were the problem. "How many people are we talking about?" Lorraine asked. "Connected to Henderson, maybe 24. In positions of power, at least 6, maybe more. And you have proof of all this, Some. Financial records, emails, recorded conversations, enough to start a firestorm, but not enough to guarantee convictions. That's why the FBI needed my testimony. I'm the only one who can connect all the dots. And if you go public without the FBI, then I lose immunity. I become a target for prosecution too, because technically I helped build the systems Henderson used, even if I didn't know what they were for." Lorraine felt the weight of it settle on her shoulders. "So you're choosing between dying and going to prison." "Basically, but at least if I'm in prison, Imani's alive. That's all that matters." "Daddy?" They all turned. Imani stood in the doorway. How long had she been there? "Baby, how much did you hear?" "Enough." She walked into the room. "You're going to go to jail." "Maybe, I don't know, but it's complicated." "No, it's not. You helped bad people by accident, then you tried to fix it. That's not complicated. That's called making a mistake and trying to make it right." "The law doesn't always see it that way." "Then the law is stupid." Imani's voice was firm, clear. "And I don't care if you go to jail. I care if you're alive, because I can visit you in jail. I can't visit you if you're dead." Marcus knelt down. "Baby." "No, Daddy. You always say the truth is more important than being comfortable, so tell the truth. Do the press conference. Expose all of them, and whatever happens after, we'll deal with it. Together." Marcus's eyes filled up. "When did you get so brave?" "Yesterday, on that plane, when that man kicked me and I realized the world isn't fair and bad people don't always lose and sometimes you have to fight even when you're scared." Lorraine felt her throat tighten. 10 years old and already wiser than most adults. Marcus pulled Imani into a hug, held her like she was the only thing keeping him upright. "Okay, we do it. We tell everything, but we do it right." Simone nodded. "I'll make the calls, set up the press conference, get major outlets, make sure it can't be buried." "How long?" 24 hours, maybe less if we move fast." "Do it." Simone left the room, started making calls. Marcus looked at Lorraine. "You should leave. Take Imani somewhere safe. Let me do this alone." "No?" "Lorraine." "I said no. You don't get to push me away now. We're in this together. All of us. If this goes wrong, it won't. And if it does, I'd rather be here fighting with you than somewhere safe wondering what happened." Marcus looked like he wanted to argue, but he just nodded. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. We still have to survive the next 24 hours. They stayed at the farmhouse that night. Simone set up a security perimeter, motion sensors, cameras, alarms, said it was overkill but did it anyway. Imani fell asleep on the couch around 10. Marcus carried her to a bedroom upstairs, tucked her in, sat on the floor next to the bed watching her breathe. Lorraine found him there an hour later. "You should sleep," she said. "Can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see that fake agent reaching for her, see her running, see what could have happened if you hadn't figured it out in time. But it didn't happen. She's here. She's safe. For now. But tomorrow," his voice broke, "tomorrow I'm going to stand in front of cameras and make her a target all over again." "No, tomorrow you're going to stand in front of cameras and make yourself a target. There's a difference. You're putting yourself between her and danger. That's not the same as putting her in danger." "Tell that to Henderson when he sends someone else." "Henderson's going to be too busy defending himself to send anyone. That's the whole point." Marcus was quiet for a long time. "Then, what if I'm making the biggest mistake of my life? Then you'll fix it. That's what you do. You make mistakes and you fix them. That's called being human." "Human?" Marcus laughed. "No humor in it?" "Right now I feel like a failure. A father who couldn't keep his daughter safe. A man who trusted the wrong people and dragged everyone he loves into hell. You're not a failure. You're just tired and scared and doing the best you can with impossible choices. Is my best good enough? It has to be, because it's all you've got. Morning came too fast. Simone woke them at 6, said the press conference was set for noon. Major networks, live coverage, no backing out now. Marcus showered, shaved, put on the same suit from yesterday. Looked like he was preparing for execution. Amani woke up at 7, asked if today was the day. Marcus said yes. She nodded. Got dressed. Didn't say much. They left the farmhouse at 10. Drove downtown to a hotel conference room Simone had rented. Press was already gathering outside. Cameras, reporters, crowds. Inside, Simone had set up a table, microphones, water bottles, everything Marcus would need. You ready? She asked. No, but let's do it anyway. At noon exactly, Marcus walked into the conference room. Cameras flashed. Questions shouted. He sat down, waited for silence. Lorraine stood in the back with Amani. The girl was gripping her hand so tight it hurt. Marcus cleared his throat, looked directly at the cameras. My name is Marcus Barrett, and I'm here to tell you the truth about Vincent Henderson, Gerald Whitford, and a criminal network that's been operating inside our defense industry for the last decade. The room went silent. For the next 90 minutes, Marcus talked. Named names, showed documents, played recorded conversations, laid out the entire conspiracy in detail so clear there was no room for doubt. He explained his role, how he'd unknowingly helped create the systems they'd corrupted, how he'd discovered the truth, how he'd gone to the FBI, how they'd threatened him into silence, and he explained the attack on Amani, how it was designed to intimidate him, how it was part of a pattern of violence and intimidation that Henderson used to keep witnesses quiet. Yesterday, Marcus said, his voice steady, someone tried to kidnap my 10-year-old daughter from a federal building. A man impersonating an FBI agent gained access to a secure floor and attempted to take her. If it wasn't for quick thinking by her nanny and real security, she'd be gone right now, and I'd probably be dead. Murmurs rippled through the room. I'm sharing this not to gain sympathy. I'm sharing this because it proves what I've been saying. These people are dangerous, they're connected, and they're willing to hurt anyone who threatens to expose them. He paused, took a breath. I don't know what happens next. I might go to prison for my role in building the systems they exploited. I might lose everything, but at least my daughter will be alive, and at least the truth will be out there where no one can bury it. He stood. I'm done taking questions, but I'll leave you with this. If something happens to me or my family in the next few days, weeks, months, you'll know who did it, and you'll know why, and maybe that knowledge will be enough to stop them. He walked out, ignored the shouting reporters, ignored the cameras, walked straight to Lorraine and Amani. We need to leave, now. They went out a back exit, into a waiting car, drove away as the press conference exploded into chaos behind them. Simone was driving. It's done. Every major network picked it up. Social media is going insane. Henderson's name is trending. FBI just announced they're reopening the investigation with additional charges. You did it, Marcus. You actually did it. Marcus didn't respond, just stared out the window. Amani tugged on his sleeve. Daddy, is it over now? I don't know, baby. I hope so. They drove back to the farmhouse, spent the rest of the day watching news coverage, watching the world react, watching Henderson's empire start to crumble in real time. By evening, 3 senators had called for investigations. The FBI had issued warrants. Henderson's company's stock had crashed, and Gerald Whitford's lawyer had released a statement saying his client was cooperating fully with authorities and had nothing to do with any attempted kidnapping. He's trying to save himself, Simone said, throwing Henderson under the bus. Let him, Marcus said. As long as they both go down, I don't care who flips first. That night, Lorraine found Amani sitting on the porch. Stars were out, clear sky, peaceful. You okay? Lorraine asked. Yeah, just thinking. About what? About how different everything is from yesterday. Yesterday I was just the kid going to see my dad. Now I'm the girl from that video. The girl whose dad exposed a conspiracy. The girl who... She stopped. I don't know who I am anymore. You're still you. You're still Amani. What happened doesn't change that. Doesn't it? Because it feels like everything changed? Maybe it did. But that doesn't mean you changed. You're still the same brave, smart kind girl you were before. You just know more now. About the world. About people. About yourself. I don't feel brave. Neither did your dad, but he did it anyway. That's what brave means. Amani was quiet. Then, Lorraine, do you think we'll really be okay now? I think we have a better chance than we did yesterday. That's not very reassuring. I know, but it's the truth, and truth is all we've got. 3 days passed, then a week, then 2. Henderson was arrested. Gerald made a plea deal. 6 more people connected to the network were charged. Marcus wasn't charged. The prosecutor's office announced he'd been granted full immunity in exchange for his cooperation and testimony. The video of Amani being kicked went viral for different reasons now. People who'd called her a brat apologized. The airline issued a formal apology and banned Gerald Whitford permanently from all flights. Captain Torres called. Said he was proud of them. Said what Marcus did took real courage. Life slowly returned to something close to normal. Not the same. Never the same. But close. Marcus took a month off work. Spent every day with Amani. They went to parks, museums, movies, anywhere she wanted. Rebuilding what had been broken. Lorraine stayed with them. Marcus offered to pay her double. She said she didn't want more money. She just wanted to make sure they were okay. One afternoon, Amani asked if she could go back to school. Marcus was terrified. But he agreed. With security. With precautions. With everything he could do to keep her safe. On her first day back, kids stared. Teachers whispered. But Amani held her head high, walked to her classroom like she owned it. At lunch, a girl came up to her. "You're the girl from the video." "Yeah." "That was really brave, what you did." "I didn't do anything. I just got kicked." "No, you stood up. You didn't let them make you small. That's brave." Amani smiled. For the first time in weeks, a real smile. "Thanks." That night, Marcus tucked her into bed. "How was school?" "Good. Weird, but good." "Anyone give you trouble?" "No, actually everyone was really nice. Some kids said I was cool." "You are cool." "I know." Amani grinned. Then her expression turned serious. "Daddy, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Was it worth it? Everything that happened, everything we went through, Peruk, was telling the truth worth it?" Marcus thought about that. About the fear, the pain, the terror of almost losing her. About the cost of doing the right thing. "Yeah," he said finally. "It was worth it because you're here, you're safe, and the bad people lost. That's all that matters." "But what if they hadn't lost? What if it had gone differently?" "Then we would have kept fighting, because that's what we do. We don't give up. We don't back down. We fight for what's right, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard." Amani nodded. "Okay, I can live with that." "Good. Now get some sleep." "Love you, Daddy." "Love you too, baby girl, more than you'll ever know." He turned off the light, walked downstairs, found Lorraine in the kitchen. "She okay?" Lorraine asked. "Yeah, she's okay. We're all okay." "Are we, though?" Marcus looked at her. "Honestly, I don't know. But we're here. We're alive. We're together. And right now that feels like winning." Lorraine smiled. "Yeah, it really does." 6 months later, Henderson was convicted on 18 counts, sentenced to 35 years in federal prison. Gerald got 12 years. 4 other conspirators got sentences ranging from 5 to 20 years. The tech Marcus had built was decommissioned. New systems were put in place. Better ones. Safer ones. Marcus testified at every trial. Amani never had to. The prosecutors agreed she'd been through enough. Life moved forward. Slowly. Carefully. But it moved. Amani grew taller. Started middle school. Joined the debate team. Made friends. Had sleepovers. Did normal kid things. The bruise faded. The fear faded. The nightmares eventually stopped. But she never forgot. None of them did. Because some things change you. Some moments mark a line between before and after. And that flight that kicked that choice to stand up instead of staying down, that was Amani's line. She'd learned what the world could do to you when it wanted to break you. But more importantly, she'd learned that you could survive it. You could stand back up. You could fight back. You could win. And that lesson, that truth was worth every second of pain it took to learn it. Because respect isn't granted by class or color or wealth. It's earned by courage. And Amani Barrett had earned hers the hard way. By standing tall when the world tried to knock her down. By refusing to be silent when silence would have been easier. By choosing truth over comfort. By being brave when brave was the only choice left. The flight stayed grounded that day, but the truth took off, and it flew farther than any plane ever could.